my friends who lost around 10,000 rupees for a fake washing machine repair. He called me and I admit I didn't know how to guide him. August, September 2024 this was. And then I did the CCIO in October. And then slowly when I started understanding, now finally I'm here in this forum. Thank you very much. Thanks to ISAC and the CCIO. So even today he tells me, he said, you could have done the CCIO much before. I got impacted. Sir, I think a key point here is, especially from some of the major incidents that I personally handled is, within the first 1 or 2 hours, is the golden hour reporting. But the problem, what happens is, they realize only after several hours, several days or several weeks. One of the biggest cases, digital arrest case, where that person called me essentially to follow up with the police officers who took the money to return it back. So it took almost a couple of hours for me to convince the person, sir, madam, the money is gone. It took 2 to 3 hours for me to convince the person that the money is gone. After that, it took another 2 to 3 hours to convince 1930 reporting. It took the next day to go and fight with Whitefield and police station. So I think the key challenge we have is the golden hour reporting. Very rarely cases where people immediately realize and then report it. I think one way of doing it is that how to avoid the delay is that, especially with the senior citizens, I would say, is that we meet people, we ask them, how are you doing, how's your health, and then casually mention about some of the cyber crimes that are happening. Do you know what happened, this person lost money, and I give them the comfort so that they can open up. That's the only way out. This is for the senior citizens. And for the rest of the people, well, I think you can openly talk about it. I think the key point is, how do you seriously, enhance the reporting time is totally dependent on awareness and the courage that people have who have been impacted have on the case.
So that's nice. So you did talk about a delay. That's what happened, right?
Yes.
So the next question leads to that. The delay is damaging public trust, definitely. So can you elaborate on that? So as your experience is already done.
Absolutely. The delay not only affects the person's, the hopes. Reduces the hopes of recovering money. The other one is that the entire anger and frustration is turned on to the LEA, the law enforcement authority, the police, the other investigating agencies. They say, I filed a case, I filed a police complaint, 1930 is done, FIR is done, look, police is taking so much of time. But, it's quite natural for them because they forgot that it took almost a month for them to report. But they expect the police to act immediately within 24 hours to recover the money. So this deteriorates the faith in the system overall.
And the next question would be that, you're all of course, the audience should be aware what is a digital triage in a response. Basically, it's data acquisition, the analysis, and the reporting. So in your experience, have you come across any case where in a sextortion or bullying case, minimum digital triage protocol, are you aware of it?
Yeah, I had one case. I'm still going on. I have to speak to the person. It is there is a very senior person. This came through one of his friends who's in my apartment, and he said this gentleman received a phone call, WhatsApp phone call, and after some time, the person sent a message saying that, look, we are going to publish these photographs from the other end. Okay, so I told him, I said, look, I think this is clearly indicative of a sextortion case. And I said, you please give my number to that person, ask him to call. And we have enough experts, so even if I'm not able to assist, I will put you on the right person. The unfortunate part is it's more than a week now. And the person, I followed up once more. I said, even if it's not me, it's okay. Ask the person to report to 1930 because for his own benefit, you should report immediately. So there is a very, very strong sense of embarrassment and guilt and going public with, it's okay to admit that I've been defrauded of 50 lakhs, but it's not okay for me to admit that, my picture is going to come on, some website. That's a fact on the ground.
Absolutely. So just in this case, I would like to just take on the question to the expert also, digital expert also, Mr. Rajesh, because you have been the technical person, sir. the digital triage, as we call it, how do you think that will affect in a sextortion or the bullying cases, the minimum protocol which is required?
Yes, sir. So most recent cases which are coming into picture, we have seen that expertise in various digital arenas is one of the major need to understand their triaging steps. And we have seen a lot of
Your experience, how do we try to get a uniform response across the nation or the districts or the states for such responses as an intervention site?
I think the most powerful way I would say is that through ISAC, where we reach out to a large number of CCIOs and reach out to educational institutions and organizations and create this kind of an awareness, and eventually the institutionalization of this template, if I may call. How do we assist, provide first aid? Like for example, Red Cross does, a person who's got a heart attack, how do you do a CPR? So worldwide it is the same. CPR methodology is the same. So similarly, if it's a cybercrime happening in India at least, forget abroad, is that these are the first 5 steps immediately you have to do, and then after the 5th step, it depends on the triage and depending upon the crime. I think it's a lot of work to be done. I think it's going to be a joint initiative across legal enforcement authorities, and also I would say ISAC has got a very, very strong role to play.
Thank you, sir. The last thing we have impact from your side, what do you think is the one mandate or operational reform which we will require to strengthen our cyber resilience nationwide?
That's for me?
Yes, sir. That's
okay. I think first thing, if you ask me, is that I think somebody had already mentioned reporting on 1930 on cybercrime.gov.in. After losing the money, after losing probably a reputation and spending another few hours to file a complaint, it's a big painful task. I've personally assisted few victims to file a report. I went through it personally. I would probably say split the whole 1930 reporting into 2. Take the first call and then give a crime report number and say that, okay, now this is a number, this is your Aadhaar card, this is a number. And the second one is, now give me all the details. So what happens is the moment I get a number, it's been registered in 1930, that gives a lot of comfort and confidence to the victim. And then you say, I can proceed only after you give this further details. I think that one thing, that's a magic wand. If I had, I would have done it.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
You don't even tend to disclose it to your wife. That's the biggest problem. And so what happens